So the other activity in this book that I really enjoyed was increasing interactivity. And this really does focus on discussion boards. And so some of the things that we do in our face-to-face course can transfer to the D2L discussion boards or even breakout rooms in Adobe Connect. So the first one is called Regional Chat. It will help students participate in a synchronous discussion, or this could be done as an asynchronous discussion. It will also give students some skills on how to report on that discussion to the entire class, so summarize information and report back, and then build some effective online communication skills. This particular example takes 2 to 3 days. You'll want to create groups, and this could be based on region or experience, major, year in college, or you can just really randomly pick these groups. It's kind of up to you. The book talks about it being a regional chat, and that just might not be a possibility based on the makeup of your course or the makeup of your students. So divide them into groups and then select course-related topics and have these students discuss these topics. And if you did this synchronously, you would be doing this in Adobe Connect, and you can break them into rooms and have them go ahead and discuss the topic 15-20 minutes, assign them to a leader that will summarize the discussion that they had, bring them all back together. So they are no longer in the breakout room, but they're in one room in Adobe Connect, and that person will report back on the discussion. So that does allow for some engagement, some small group discussion, then bringing them back together and report back on what they learned. If you don't want to do this synchronously and you want to do it asynchronously through a discussion board, you could do the same thing. You could open up the discussion board one day. Each group is assigned the topic. They discuss it together. Then as a group, they summarize it. Then that summary is brought into another discussion board that everybody can see. So it's just kind of one way to engage your students a little bit more in the D2L, either discussion board or the breakout rooms in Adobe Connect. Now the next one, I just find this so interesting and I'm really excited to try it. It's called Structured Controversies. And you might think about in a face-to-face classroom, a lot of times you'll see this in speech or like a poli-sci class and even biology, where you put students in teams based on a pro and a con of a topic and they debate it. And so having them discuss the pros and the cons and then going back and forth in the classroom. So that's what it looks like face-to-face. What it looks like online is very similar. And so some of the goals with this one is students, again, will be able to participate in an asynchronous discussion with their peers. They'll also be able to build effective online communication skills. And I think this one is really key here. They'll learn how to debate online, but they'll also learn different perspectives on a course topic. This does take 6 days. One of the things that I might recommend with this one is on day one, maybe it's Monday, you have produced maybe a video lecture or maybe you had them in an Adobe Connect room together. So introduce them to the topic. Then you go ahead and put them in teams of 2, and so that you take an issue with 2 different perspectives that they can debate. So there's a pro versus con. Now, depending on the math of your class, you might have to have several teams that are for and several teams that are against this particular issue. And you assign the teams a position on that issue. Then you match the teams up so that each team has another team to debate against. You create the forum in D2L with the topic underneath, and then you go ahead and email instructions to your students. And you'll want to, number 1, give them information about the issue. 2, give them a list of members, and I might recommend maybe having one of those members take the lead on the topic. In other words, start the communication and maybe start scheduling the meetings they need to have. So then each team communicates via email, D2L chat. They could do Google Hangouts, Skype, and basically they are going to try to write up a post. So here's where it really starts. On day 1, your pro team, the team that is for the issue, works together again to write up a post of about 1,000 words to support their issue. These next bullets really are things that they should put in their posts. And I'll post this on our WeTeach class, so you can certainly copy it and paste it. But first, you want them to be able to define the issue. They need to endorse that the status quo doesn't resolve the issue at hand. They need to offer a specific proposal on what should be done. They need to defend their plan to solve the issue. And they need to use data, references, and research to actually support their idea. So day 1, the pro team writes their post about 1,000 words, encompassing all of that information. On day 2, the con team will develop 3 to 5 questions for the pro team to answer based on their plan. They will write one single post as a group, no more than 1,000 words, and they will question the data, the references, and the research. They will question the logic of the pro team's plan or proposal. They'll refute the parameters and that were established by the pro team, and they will challenge that pro team and its plan. Then the con team, within this 1,000 words, they will defend their alternative plan to solve the issue, again using data, references, and research to back up their plan. So first, they sort of poke holes in their plan, on the other team's plan, and then they come up with their own solution. Day 3, the pro team, again as a group, so they're going to have to get together outside, Google Hangout, Adobe Connect, however they need to get together, and they will draft one single response, no more than 500 words, and they will answer all of the questions that came from the con team. They will then post 3 to 4 questions to challenge the statement from the con team. So you can see that debate will start to go back and forth by about day 3 and 4. So day 4, the con team, again as a group, post one single response and answers all of those questions that the pro team stated. They must address all of those. Then they add 3 or 4 questions to challenge the pro team again. So now we've got this debate, and it's 2 teams outside developing the statements and then online posting it. By day 5, the pro team then does their closing arguments to support its position. No more than 500 words. Then on day 6, the con team develops their closing arguments to support their position as well. Again, no more than 500 words. So here's sort of where you come in. You are going to monitor the discussion, obviously, from day 1 through day 6. The only time that you really need to chime in is if the teams aren't really answering those challenging questions, or if you feel that the discussion is lacking focus on the issue, or they've strayed away from the original issue that you gave them. So you only really chime in during those moments. After day 6, you would summarize the best of comments, and most of this is going to come from their closing arguments, and then you, the faculty member, declares a winner. So you could certainly grade this, or it could just be a debate that goes back and forth. You could declare it by, if the winning team gets the A, the other team gets the B. It's kind of up to you. So that's just one way to sort of structure a controversy discussion debate while it's happening online. Here's another one that I thought was interesting. It's called peer moderated discussion, and I'm sure a lot of you do this. Again, there are similar goals with this one. 3 to 6 days. You could probably cut that down a little bit. You select 2 to 4 course topics for all the activities. So again, pick 2 to 4 course-related topics. Create a forum for the course, and then each one of those topics becomes a topic under the forum. Assign 1 to 2 students to moderate the discussion. So then you send them an email letting all the students know what the topics are, letting the moderators know who they are, let them know that they're responsible for which topic, include directions on how they might engage. To begin the discussion, the moderator might want to pose some questions. They might even prompt more questions as students respond, but it's really up to the moderator of that topic to engage that entire group. It sort of puts the shoe on the other foot, if you will. So for the process, Once everybody is done and you've opened that up for 2 or 3 days and you feel like the moderators have done a good job engaging their colleagues in conversation, then the moderator will summarize what they think the key points are. From a faculty standpoint, you would monitor the discussion and help the moderators engage if you think they're struggling. But the goal really is for the two leaders or the moderators to engage their group in that discussion. Again, to start with, they might pose some questions in order to get that going. For grading, it could really be determined how engaged the group was and the quality of their posts. Or this could be a non-graded item. So again, as a faculty member, you're monitoring this. You're only helping when you think that the discussion is, maybe dying out or there's not a lot of engagement. But it's really up to the 1 or 2 moderators of each group to continue to get their peers and their colleagues to continue to discuss that same topic. So there's just another example from the book called 75 E-Learning Activities. Again, if you do a Google search, you can get this for about $20, I think even less on Amazon. There's just so many examples in this book, from discussion boards to icebreakers to designing effective e-learning activities to elaborating on course content. There's a whole section on collaboration and team building. And so if you would like to come take a peek at it, I'd certainly loan it out. But it's definitely one of those books that I would put in my toolbox for e-learning. So I hope you enjoyed these quick little lectures and some ideas to get some learning activities into your course that can help engage the students in the content and the discussion. You can go ahead and continue on with the rest of the module. Thank you.